So we have a number of cells involved in our adaptive immune system. Three kind of categories of cells. We have our antigen-presenting cells, and they're going to do exactly what their name says they're going to do. Essentially what they're going to do is they're going to engulf an antigen. Okay, so they're going to consume an antigen, and then they're going to present that antigen to our T cells. Kind of crazy, huh? And so when we look at antigen-presenting cells, there's actually three major types of antigen-presenting cells in our body. There's our dendritic cells, there's our macrophages, and then there's our B cells. Okay. In addition to our antigen-presenting cells, we have our B lymphocytes, or our B cells, which I've alluded to already. Again, B cells are part of that humoral immunity. And they are going to mature in our bone marrow. We'll talk about this notion of maturation here in a little while. We have our T lymphocytes, or our T cells. These are as part of our cell-mediated immunity, and these are going to mature in the thymus. Now, an easy way to remember this is B, bone marrow, B cell. Our T cells are in our thymus. Okay? Now, I want to spend a few minutes and just talk about our antigen-presenting cells a little bit more in depth. So, again, we have three major antigen-presenting cells. Our most effective antigen presenter is our dendritic cell. And what these do is these phagocytize pathogens that enter into our tissues, and then they basically enter our lymphatic system and present the antigen to the T cells in our lymph nodes. Okay, so again, the whole purpose of an antigen-presenting cell is to engulf, to present, and to activate the adaptive immune system. Our macrophages do the same thing. They're going to engulf. So you guys remember that first video where I circled that spit that macrophage spit out? That basically chewed up antigen. It will take part of that antigen and actually present it on its surface. So not only does it phagocytize as part of the innate defense, it will also act as an antigen-presenting cell to the adaptive immune system as well. That antigen that it's going to present not only activates our T cell, but it further activates more macrophages, basically recruiting them to fight in the battle. Our last antigen-presenting cell, which is a little bit unique, is our B lymphocyte. So our B lymphocyte, again, is very specific to our adaptive. It's not part of the innate like our macrophages and our dendritic cells. B cells do not phagocytize, okay? And they do not activate T cells. So whereas our macrophages and our dendritic cells activate T cells, that's not the case for our B cells. However, they're still considered an antigen-presenting cell because they actually have to present the antigen to the T cell in order for them to carry out or fulfill their own activation. So the B cell's like, hey, T cell, I have an antigen here. I need you to come down and acknowledge it. So the T cell comes down and acknowledges that antigen. And once that acknowledgement happens, the T cell can then continue its education or continue its development. Okay? So those are our antigen-presenting cells.